All right, guys, spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner from Prime. Oh, sorry, from TSL. The colors got a little mixed up there. From TSL,
At least it's
Hyun.
not. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not your fault. I don't blame you.
Hey, you said from Team Prep. So, no, at least it wasn't Team Pulp.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joshua right now.
Team Pulp.
You're the man.
Pulp from Pulp. It's like Mark by Mark. Anyway, spawning up here in the top left-hand corner from Team Prime, it is Creator, our red Protoss.
All right, guys. The map's
again,
Ohana.
1-1.
Yep. Best of 3. Loser will be in a bit of trouble. Going to have to face it through some more difficult brackets here. The winner's going to go on, actually, to face Tasia and continue forward in the winner's bracket.
Now, interesting statistic is that Hyun's worst matchup actually is TVP. Or, sorry, ZVP. But Prime's best matchup is actually PvP, and followed by that is PvZ.
So both of these guys... never mind.
So second place. So this is his second best matchup for Prime for Creator. Sorry.
Spawning pool going down at 14. Hyun going to make sure he has a little bit of control of the pace of this game and maybe prevent. This is a relatively small 2-player map. It's not quite Cloud Kingdom or anything, but it's it's definitely not Metropolis. So, but in Hyun's favor, this is a great map for creep spread. Plays like Blink +2 Blink Stalker, very difficult to execute here. But things like Immortal Sentry are very good.
I was just about to mention it's a great map unless you're Zerg, because so many choke points are on this
like
map.
it as Zerg.
It's very difficult to get a lot of maneuverability with your units. Now, there are a lot of the paths that go up and down the other expansions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you're moving down and you're getting forced into a choke point, Zerg really does not thrive too well in those types of situations, and especially if it's on the third base, like immediately, unless you really get some good engagements before it comes down on your third base, it's a little bit difficult to deal with a lot of sentry force.
No, you're completely right, and I'm okay. Here's the thing. So you engage. It's a couple of force fields to close all this off, segment armies in half. Even more scary, though, you come in through this right-hand side and move up the ramp. This is even more narrow, so it's very easy to segment off units from here. And if you cut these forces, you can just engage versus the units on the ramp. But the one thing that just scares me so much about Ohana, Kevin, is this forward ramp. Can you imagine if we went back to, like, Shattered Temple?
Yeah.
I mean, like, how OP would the Immortal Sentry all-in be, if we had Shattered Temple? Because, like, at least Ohana has a ramp that you have to go up in first. But, guys, this ramp is so far forward and very easy to throw a force field down.
And not only that, yeah, you can also deal with something like a Warp Prism for a Sentry drop, in which you can just keep that ramp under your control and just completely kill the main.
We saw both Hero and Naniwa use that on main stage earlier, and it was they used it to great effect, honestly.
As Protosses are wont to do, especially Hero and Naniwa, both of them very good players. I'm really hoping for Hero.
Now, do we know if Naniwa is still in the tournament? I know he had a face-off against C in the loser's bracket, but I haven't seen the results of that.
I haven't seen it either. I was actually really curious into C's performance in this entire tournament myself, actually, because I am...
A lot of people are, yeah.
I'm a very big fan of old Starcraft Brood War, so the fact that he joined Liquid and all that just kind of made my inner child just yell out in glee.
All right, so here's what we're waiting for, guys. In like 6 seconds, this.
Yeah.
This and where do you think? Right there? Right,
yeah, maybe
there?
Maybe.
Where's the pylon? Right there? Ooh,
yeah,
right here.
Right there. Yeah.
Nah, he's not going. We're waiting for an assimilator and a robo, folks. Now the the Overlord is just getting out of here. +1 has just been started, and the gases will have to be so late at this point where it's 6 minutes. He'll have to drop 2 of them if he's going for the Immortal Sentry play. So there's one. And okay, so he drops 2. Yeah. So Immortal Sentry's still completely on the field. You do need a very hefty amount of gas, but he'll need to drop a robo right now as well if that's what he intends to go for here. So we'll be keeping an eye out and see if that follows suit here in just a minute. Meanwhile, what have we got going on for Hyun?
Double gas is just finishing up here for Hyun at his natural. Doesn't really have any other gases, so playing pretty standard for Hyun. And what's really an interesting thing, as I really want to bring out, is that in the first game, yeah, Hyun did make a little bit of a mistake in a call, but he still didn't really scout that much. He only had 1 Overlord that went in. In the second game, he was able to hold off a Blinkstalker all-in without scouting at all. He didn't even have a single Overlord that dove in there. Now, granted, a little bit of a mistake was made by CreatorPrime by making that huge blink in, but still, Hyun held off without having any type of scouting information about what Creator was up to. And that's one of those things you really have to take note of, is that this guy's doesn't even have to scout to win.
Yeah, that good. Picking off a couple of drones. Oh my goodness!
Almost saved the drone by turning it into an extractor.
But didn't. That's all right, guys. So the Robo's out. Robo's on the field, but he's making observers. So is there a Twilight Council? Yes, there is. Twilight Council 3 Gateways. This is going to be an expansion build out of Creator. And in fact, Hyun's going to get in here and he's going to see the Twilight Council, so he should immediately realize, all right, this looks a lot like, well, he'll see the sentries as well. That's a little bit of a tell. So between the Twilight Council, the timing of these gateways, and the sentries, he's got a lot of information there that points towards an expand. Unfortunately, he hasn't seen that this is an observer yet that's being made, but we'll see. You know, Hyun should be willing to drone a lot right now, so...
Yeah, and getting a whole bunch of drones out, hopefully going straight on into, yeah, there's the infestation pit that I was just really curious to see if he was going to throw out immediately.
He's got 6 Overlords on the way, so he may make a big wave of roaches here, you know, being afraid of something sneaky out of Creator, but the reality is, I mean, it's nothing. So let's see how well Hyun reads this. It's tough, you know, he's making an Overseer. He wants to see if there's an observer in his base. Look at the timing here. The Overseer is going to complete just in time. Will he beeline it for this? The observer does look like it's going to make it out. But if he saw that, yeah, he's got enough information here. He's starting +1, just starting to roach more and some drones.
And beautiful play here from Hyun. I mean, he's going to be in a pretty good position, given that he's already got his 4th now underway. He's going to have all those upgrades already started. Now, +2 weapons is halfway done here for Creator. And he's got Blink also halfway done as well. And here comes the Colossus Bay.
Yep. Colossus will soon be on the field.
Both of them are moving just straight on into mid-game. Pretty you know, just boring early game right now. And that's perfectly fine, because that just means that there's going to be more lasers, more explosions, and more excitement in the latter half of the game.
Now, a very nice read here from Hyun. Kevin, I mean, he saw this, or he dropped this expansion a while ago. We just saw it now, but it's already halfway done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, I mean, just reading the fact that Creator was going to go incredibly expansive and just try and get that 3rd base, Hyun grabbing that 4th base, as, you know, just perfect.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, it is perfect. It's the perfect reply, but will he be able to hold it off here against Creator's? Well, maybe he's not going to push. He is forcing out a ton of units from Hyun, which is just beautiful. And in fact, behind this, I mean, he's teching pretty hard, so this could just be some, yeah, this is just some fake pressure. Hyun's going to try to punish these units, though, for being out in the middle of the field, and the sentries are going to be, it's going to be really important here. Hyun is opting no for the moment to fall back with these lings. What's he going to do with them?
How many lings, exactly.
Yeah.
As soon as you have that many lings, you have to do something with them. There are 2 Zealots that completely scattered out that huge ball of lings moving around, but with those sentries moving back in, can't do much there.
All right, so Hyun may opt for an attack here. He drops a Spire, but not a hive to go with it. He's got the gas, but not enough minerals. He's droning up even further. Observer camped out right over this 4th base. He's going to spot both of these gases
immediately.
Yep.
This is going to be straight on into Broodlords as soon as he possibly can. I mean, Zerg has always been a gas-starved race, but going straight for Broodlords this early, you got to have all of the gases you could possibly have.
Well, I'm waiting for that hive tech. I mean, I do agree. Broodlords makes sense here. It could just be a very powerful shift to Mutalisk after he throws away his army here. In fact, I'm going to guess that's what it is, but here we go. Engagement going down. Infested Terrans all the way on the other side of the force fields. Huge quantities of them. They're going to be pretty strong with that +1 missile attack, and they're targeting down some sentries. Hyun doing what he can here. Roach is coming to reinforce, but I don't know if he's going to be able to crack through this. Nice targeting on the sentries. And now will he go for the Immortals, or will he go for Stalkers to get rid of some of that anti-air? He's not going to get much at all,
yeah,
Shantu. He's got to fall back.
He's going to be a little bit unsuccessful in trying to take out the rest of Creator's Stalkers, but that was one of those things that you can actually notice. He didn't target down the Colossus at all. He's just going straight for that anti-air, and I think that read that you made before actually might be incredibly accurate. The Spire is still just about to finish up, but now he's got to make defensive roaches, and that's going to cost him a little bit of gas into the amount that he probably wanted to spend on those mutas.
Yeah, it may have been a move that he wanted to make, but now he realizes I can't. I don't have enough gas to make the Mutalisks. I was forced to make roaches because that engagement did not go well. So he's going to research +1 flyers, which will help no matter what. If he goes for that big muta switch, which is something, you know, Hyun can definitely do. I mean, I feel like he actually did it at a fight club recently, but it's also going to be useful if he goes for broods because he doesn't have the melee attacks for the broodlings.
Quite true, quite true. He's only definitely got the range upgrades going down, trying to keep those roaches to be nice little damage dealers as roaches are supposed to be.
All right, so Corruptors are now going to be on the field for Hyun in just a second here. Stalker's blinking up onto the high ground. Will Creator be able to secure this 4th base? We'll have to wait and see. Roaches and Infestors, you know, they fare decently well, especially when you have infested Terrans, but he does need an answer to these Colossi.
Right,
exactly.
There's 3 of them, and there's only 9 Corruptors. Now those Corruptors... Oh!
Whoa.
We have frozen in the game. Hold on one moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be trying to fix this issue.
All right, so Starcraft client is frozen for the second. We're actually still in the game. Maybe we can tell what's going on from the sound of it.
Sounds like there's a lot of infested Terran going down. The Colossus are doing a lot of damage. It sounds like they have not been taken out just yet. The Corruptors, though, did throw down Corruptions. There's still some... There's at least one...
I hear lots of explosions right now. Tons of roaches and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's happening, but something is surely happening, and I am incredibly anxious to know what the result is.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to see if we can get some information on what's going on in this game right now. And we're probably going to jump over to the player streams if we can in just a minute. So, quick hold, and obviously the game's still being played, so we'll resolve this as quickly as possible. Hey folks, there we go.
Man.
Nice. We're back, and we actually gave a really accurate interpretation at the end of that game. It was a lot of Zerg stuff dying, and in fact, Hyun did lose right there. So, apologies that we did miss the final engagement, but we will let you know that it ended quite promptly, and Hyun did get defeated 2-1, in fact, by CreatorPrime.
And you know, that's just one of those things where we need to start bringing out the Starcraft radio, right? Start bringing out people just commentating.
That's kind of funny.
Nothing actually happened.
I have that written down right here.
Starcraft radio, right there.
Well, it's because you know, I work in I worked before in some labor where, you know, I can't necessarily watch something, but I loved listening to Starcraft. And so having somebody who could give a sense of like position and things going on the map would be really exciting. So a little bit different interpretation, but regardless, guys, we did wrap things up there between Hyun and Creator, and you know, it's not too much of a surprise, honestly. As,
after the first engagement where Hyun really kind of lost a lot of his forces and then was forced to make a whole bunch of roaches to try and defend after after Creator started pushing down the map, it was pretty much a telltale sign that Creator was going to be able to do a lot of damage, if not just straight out win the game. So Creator did win the game, and now he's going to be going up against Tasia, who was seeded in there from the Korean qualifier, if I remember correctly.
It's going to be a pretty exciting match, and of course that is in the winner's bracket. Hyun will be moving to the loser's bracket. Guys, this is IPL 5. We've got more matches coming at you next, and we'll let you know what